All right, I thought I'd produce one of these very quickly just for Twitter as well. I've just produced my groups update, and I'll give a condensed and quick version of that in here to give you an overview of kind of my thoughts for the day. So number one is I think that potentially today is a day for the majors. So I think that BTC looks pretty good. I've been sharing this on Twitter, and this comes from Sensitive Boy. So big shout out to him from the stream last night who pulled this out for me. And really nice diagonal across the RSI. And we typically see this during consolidation periods where we don't see momentum able to escape out of the top of RSI over here. So we see consistent rejection on this RSI level as momentum, never sustains above here. And now what we're seeing at the moment is we are seeing the RSI break out from this diagonal level, but it's running straight into the area that a lot of people are identifying as the potential bearish retest over here of 34,000. And I still think that's a legitimate view. So it's really important to me that BTC crosses through and closes above this 4-hour level in here. So I really want to see that close above the 34,000 to have any conviction that this is going to continue its momentum to the upside and potentially looking around the 37,500 region over here. So for now, this looks fine. We have some extension on the lower time frame, so I would expect us to correct again soon. I'd like to see us hold up against this region over here if we are to try and support lower time frame before closing above eventually this 34k. And that's what I'm looking for right now on BTC. I think way too many people were bearish at higher time frame support. I think way too many people subscribed to the opinion that BTC is going down to the 25Ks. And I think that, well, I hope that a lot of you get cucked from your decision making in this region because I think it was piss poor. If we get a breakdown through 30k, sure, post me a 25k chart. But I think until higher time frame support is broken, I think it's a pretty ridiculous area to start quoting 25k. Just my thoughts. ETH looking great. The concern with ETH that we have in this region is that obviously from the daily perspective, we've been witness to this twice now where we come into this region across here and we see the sellers operating here and potentially here in this last region, and we see the dips from that. So we've seen 25%, I think we saw a little bit more in this region, 33% from here. We saw 28% from this sell-off, and here we are again pushing up against this region. So we really want to see ETH have the momentum to get above here. We looked at the potential for an RSI divergence across this region. I'm not so sure that we do have an RSI divergence through here, right? I really am not convinced that this is an RSI divergence through here. I actually think that what ETH will do is it will end up powering up through here and invalidating that. But obviously we need to see some strength. Now, if BTC shows strength today and it does continue upwards, we may see that translate into the cash pair for ETH. We may also see that hamper ETH, okay, because of the alt correlation and BTC draining some of that resource from alts in order to continue its ascent higher. So definitely want to keep an eye on with BTC showing some signs of strength today and ETH being in and around that area that we know has been a concern previously. This is the former high region over here. We can delete that. This is the daily diagonal. We don't need that. So this region here, the 15-minute, nice lower time frame potential breakout. All of the signs from lower time frame ETH say that this is going to go higher first. Right, so everything that I would personally use to form my analysis says that this is going to go higher first. So in that we have 15-minute, the RSI looks good. We've broken out the diagonal here. The hourly has reset nicely overnight, cooling back off to this 50 region that I look for. And potentially now we're looking at making that push to the upside. The 4-hour still has plenty of room to go. So unlike when we reached this high last time here and we were in this extreme, or when we got up here last time and we'd spent long time in this extreme, we're now in a situation where the RSI actually has room to run towards this upside target. So I think for now ETH is fantastic. It looks in great shape, but I'm just keeping a little bit cautious on the reaction of ETH given the BTC strength that we're seeing. The majors are where I really think the strength is going to show through today. So BCH, the majors have been getting cucked. They haven't done anything. They've been piss poor performers over recent time with DeFi leading the way. And BCH looks as though today is a day it's going to start popping off. So we got another good example here of the 5-minute RSI here with a diagonal. So I simply drew this morning looking at the interaction of BCH in this region. This is the consolidation here. This is the RSI during that period. This is the breakout of the RSI, and this is the breakout in price. And we can see from this would already have netted you a really solid move up if you were just taking that signal based on momentum from the RSI. Hourly time frame, BCH has flipped this region of former resistance into support and is now heading away from this region. So we're seeing the strength in the majors. So BCH, hopefully a good performer. So I took a position on this at, I've added to this once, so I'm in at 452. So I'm in just here. And obviously looking to get up towards this region at 475. So another $10 up here would be a great intraday trade for me. LTC is another one that I think is looking in really good shape, very similar to BCH, getting the close above 142.50 yesterday, which was a big moment. So I bought spot. I think I got in about 143. And now just hoping that we see the impulse and the same strength on BTC translate into BCH and LTC. And making the push higher on LTC. My concern with LTC has always been, like, I don't know how much more I can expect LTC to sell off. You can see my alert down here, but I don't know how much more I can expect LTC to sell off, given the fact that, you know, once again, we are down 40% from the high that LTC put in, and we've just been holding up in this region ever since. So hopefully now looking for some impulse to the upside for LTC. Now, the only short position that I'm currently in at the moment is Uni. And the reason that I've chosen a short on Uni is that I think with BTC strength, alts have the potential to suffer. So I think that DeFi being the strongest performers is the area that I would be looking to try and snag a pullback on. And what we had across the highs through this last leg over here on Uni is quite a strong divergence. So we can see this hourly divergence between this high created at 1250 and this area over here. And we're seeing some rejection today. Lower time frame where I took this position, we see a really nasty move up here. We see this here drop off in momentum between these highs. We see this area over here finally, well, I say finally, it doesn't really matter about the finally part, but this area being swept. So up here, just sweeping this high, taking out any stops there, and then starting a sort of 20-minute nasty sell-off down this region. So I think that Uni and other alts have the potential to suffer if BTC starts to go on a rip higher. So Uni is my preferred shorting option for today. So I've got a position in that from... it's currently 11.94 is my current entry price. Best case scenario for me on Uni would be getting back down here. And that's absolute best case scenario for me, is getting back down to the 955 region over here. And worst case scenario, I think I can probably try and snag this down to 1060. So probably what I'll end up doing here is removing 50% of the position in here. And then the rest of the position I'll either leave ride, or I'll make a decision if the market structure is broken, again, lower time frame. So for now, that's kind of how I see the market. I see the majors performing relatively well today. I see BTC, hopefully, touch wood, pushing to the upside and breaking through that 34k 4-hour region. And ETH, I think, is kind of in a bit of a balancing act between the BTC strength and the impact that's going to have on ETH and potentially some of the other alts in this region. So that's everything. I hope that the summary was useful for you. And I'm streaming again midweek, so if you want to come and check out the stream, please come and check that out. It will probably be Wednesday around 2:30 GMT, so I hope to see some of you there.